Welcome to Leadership with Nikki, where I share tips and tricks from my 18 years in leadership to hopefully help support you in yours. Today we're diving into some of my favourite productivity hacks that I use to make sure that I can stay on top of my role. The first one is ruthless prioritisation. As a leader, you are often pulled in multiple directions, and often it feels like that is happening all at the same time. The key I find to managing this is not to do everything, but rather to have a framework so that you choose only the things that really need your priority. I prefer the Eisenhower Matrix. This is a time management tool that helps prioritize tasks by categorizing them into 4 quadrants based on their urgency and importance. It was popularized by former US President Dwight D. Eisenhower and is used to help individuals focus on what truly matters and avoid being overwhelmed by those less important tasks. And I don't know about you, but if a president was using this as a tool to help them keep on top of their tasks, I figure I could probably get something out of it too. So here's a breakdown of the 4 quadrants. The first one is the urgent and important. These tasks require immediate attention and are crucial for achieving long-term goals. Examples might be a critical emergency, meeting a deadline, or handling a high priority project. The second one is important but not urgent. These tasks contribute to long-term goals and should be scheduled for later. Examples might include planning for the future, maintaining relationships, or engaging in your own self-improvement. Thirdly is urgent but not important. These tasks, unfortunately, often involve time wasters and distractions that could actually be delegated or avoided. Examples might include answering a non-important phone call, attending unnecessary meetings, or handling trivial tasks. Number 4 is neither urgent nor important. These tasks are not essential and can be deleted or avoided altogether. Examples include engaging in that trivial conversation that has nothing to do with you, or wasting time online looking up things that are probably just a procrastination route, or just getting caught up in that low priority busy work. Just quickly, because you can go into more detail if you look this matrix up online, but to use the Eisenhower Matrix, firstly, you do a really quick brain dump. Start by writing down all your tasks and commitments. Then categorize each of these tasks into one of the 4 quadrants. Then you prioritize by focusing on those that are in the urgent and important quadrant. You delegate the ones that are urgent but not important to others. You schedule the ones that are allocated in the important but not urgent quadrant. And you really enjoy deleting all those ones that are in the non-urgent and non-important. The key isn't to just focus on the important and urgent tasks. It's actually to get into the strategic quadrant, which is the not urgent but important tasks, such as planning, maintaining relationships, focusing on your own self-improvement. These are all really important strategic leadership tasks that you want to be spending your time on. So make sure you do this activity and schedule these things in your diary. Hack number 2 is time blocking with intention. Don't let your day be taken over by a never-ending stream of emails and tasks. Take control of your schedule by intentionally blocking out time for things. I do this by scheduling right at the end of the day, no more than 10 minutes, to go through what it is that I actually need to do the following day. It's often less than 10 minutes because the idea is that I'm only scheduling something into my day that isn't already there if it's urgent and important. I'm not just adding another whole workload onto the day that's already scheduled. At the end of the week, I do it considering the following week and what needs to be done and making sure I have adequate space to take on anything that may have come up in the meantime. This means that I'm deciding in advance what needs to happen and ensuring that I'm scheduling adequate time to get things done. I always schedule time for things that are strategic work that I know I need a good hour or 2 to spend on it, so I make sure that I find that time in my diary to put it in. And I also include a buffer. That means if something really unexpected comes up, I know I still have time in the schedule to be able to get things done by a deadline. I try really hard to protect all of this time in my diary because I know that that means that I won't be panicking about an upcoming deadline because I've got adequate time to complete it. So it's really for my own sanity. Hack number 3 is effective delegation. You lead a team for a reason. One of the most powerful ways to manage your own workload is to delegate effectively. There are some really clear rules about delegation that can ensure that it actually occurs without a hitch. The first one is to be really clear about the intent of what you're delegating. This is all in the communication. You also need to ensure that the person that you're delegating to has the required skills and the tools to complete the tasks. It's important that you let them take ownership too, and that you're not micromanaging them to the solution that you would have just been able to do yourself faster. Effective delegation not only frees up your own time, but it empowers your team members too. I have done a video on delegation and the framework that I use to effectively delegate to team members, which is linked on your screen. Hack number 4 is to master the 2-minute rule. This is a very simple but quite effective hack. If a task takes no more than 2 minutes to complete, whether it's replying to an email, scheduling a meeting, filing a document away appropriately with the right name in the right folder, do it immediately. The low initial commitment of 2 minutes makes it easier to overcome that idea of procrastination, or worse, to have a build-up of, let's say, for example, not something obviously I know anything about, a whole pile of inappropriately named documents that you can't really remember what they were about, that you then have to go through and open them all up again and rename them and refile. Could be something that maybe someone I know has had to do previously. The idea is that the 2-minute thing really frees up your mental space. You do it immediately, it's gone, it's done. A warning though, don't get caught up on being the quick responder because a response takes no more than 2 minutes for your team members. If you do this on a repeated basis, is the quick question, can you help me with this? And you know the answer, but you also know that they could find out the answer and have the resources to discover it themselves. Don't use the 2 minutes on that. Your team should be finding things out for themselves. Don't get caught up in the, I just quickly respond to these questions from my team because it's really fast and it's really easy for me. Because then they're going to be reliant on you to respond to everything. That's a waste of the 2-minute rule. If you apply it properly, the 2-minute rule can get rid of the clutter and the noise. You clear your mind and your to-do list to make space for the things that really matter. Hack number 5 is strategic batching. Instead of constantly switching between different tasks, try to group similar things together and do them in a set block of time. For example, you might schedule 40 minutes at the start of each day to go through your emails. You might then have another block for reviewing reports, and then you might be doing follow-up phone calls. This reduces the cognitive load of continuously switching between one task and another. It also means that you're in that more efficient flow when you're in the same work. Find the natural groupings in your responsibilities and try and time block them. Hack number 6, optimize your meetings. Meetings can be a significant drain on your time, your energy, and what you can actually get done in a day. Start by being really critical about whether or not a meeting is actually required. If it is, have a clear agenda, circulate it in advance, even if it's just bullet points, this is what we're going to discuss today, and stick to it. Start and end on time. Don't wait until 7 minutes past the start time for all of those late arrivers to turn up. Become known as someone who starts their meetings on time, and everyone will turn up on time. Only invite essential participants. This one is quite a good one because I definitely had a habit of wanting to include everyone when I first started in leadership. I quickly discovered it was very difficult to come to a resolution on any actions if you had every single person that might or might not be required in a meeting. Consider alternative formats such as stand-up meetings, because we all get too tired, so everybody wants to finish up faster. You can also use like online documents for collaborating on things so that you're not wasting time all trying to read something and talk to something at the same time. If you've already shared it and you've all had a look at it, it saves time. I see establishing effective meetings as a respect thing. You're respecting everyone's time. You're making it really clear and purposeful. I have a video on how to fast track meetings because inefficient meetings are kind of one of my biggest annoyance in leadership. If you're finding some of these productivity tips helpful so far, I would love it if you would subscribe. 92% of my viewers don't subscribe. Maybe 92% of you don't actually get any value out of these videos, but if you do, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe. Hack number 7, implement focused work sessions. Techniques like the Pomodoro technique, where you work in focused bursts such as 25 minutes followed by a short break of 5 minutes, can significantly enhance your concentration and your focus. Experiment with different blocks of time to see what time actually works best for you. The idea is to be as focused as you can for that period of time, and you'll know when it's time to stop because you'll start to feel fatigue, and that'll give you a sign that maybe that block was too long and you need to shorten it. These structured sessions can help you maintain momentum and tackle complex tasks more effectively. You can also utilize software such as the Do Not Disturb on Teams, as this means that you're not interrupted all the time with messages coming in and chats. Hack number 8 is to say no strategically. As a leader, you will inevitably receive far more requests of your time than you can actually fulfill. Well, if you want to maintain your sanity, that is. Learning to say no to requests that don't align with your priorities or your strategic goals is crucial if you want to protect your time and your energy. Remember, it's not about being unhelpful and negative. It's about being strategic with your commitment. When you do say no, be polite, explain your reasoning briefly, and if possible, offer alternative solutions for them to help them out. I also talk to my leaders about the stop doing list. It's a really simple idea. Write down all the things that are sucking up your time and energy, and then stop doing them. It can be meetings, tasks, or even certain projects that are no longer aligned to the work that you're doing. By stopping doing things that don't serve you, you can free up a ton of time and mental energy. For example, I worked with a leader who was spending hours every week producing this report that she was then distributing. I asked her what would happen if she stopped sending it out. She had the idea that everybody would be annoyed and they'd be asking for it. So I suggested that since she was halfway through completing the one for that week, that she finish it and then include in the email where she sent it out that she would no longer be producing these reports unless there was a specific purpose that somebody required them. She never heard from anyone. No one ever emailed her back and said, "This is the reason I need this report," or "I'm so annoyed that you stopped producing that report." I don't even know if they were reading them. This gave her back a whole lot of time that she no longer needed to spend wasting on a stupid report that no one was reading. She could then spend time on things that she knew were actually going to drive results and fulfill a purpose for her. Productivity is not about doing more. It's about doing the right things effectively and efficiently. I'd love to hear from you if you've experimented with some of these hacks. Put it in the comments below, or share any others that you use to be really productive in your role. And thanks very much for watching.